All right, my nephews and nieces, let me go ahead and stand on my soapbox one more again. Because I feel like there's a couple of y'all that literally must be new to my channel, or you've been living under a rock. I'm not even sure. Because some of y'all are literally asking me, Uncle Demi, how come you haven't said anything about, the VC? Because Joe Knows said something, so I guess I'm supposed to be a follower and just be like, yeah, let me just, I'm my own man, I do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't have to sit there and when someone else says something, that means all of a sudden I have to jump on the bandwagon with it. Especially if you've been watching, I have been talking about this for years. Like, I literally did a video 8 months ago. Like, I'm not about to have my whole channel centered around this, but y'all do know almost every year I bring up the cons to virtual currency, right? And how it is. I literally did a video like a couple days ago when I was talking about, this is a pay to win game. Like, and I was talking about like how other games are free to play, like legit free to play. You can just get on and play, and how NBA 2K is a pay to play game and it's rated E and how it shouldn't be that. Like, I don't have to go through this over and over and over again. Every single time another creator, comes up and speaks on this. Truth be told, every creator has an issue with this. I don't even know any creators that openly say, VC is good, right? I feel like the issue that a lot of, how the best way I can say this, people that is not as knowledgeable of how business works, they just think that 2K is just going to stop doing that. No, they're going to stop doing VC. No, the reason why they are able to do the VC setup the way they do the VC setup is because we continue to buy and we continue to pay. And that is the reason. It's supply and demand. That's like basic econ, entry to econ 101, supply and demand, right? Whatever they're supplying, if our demand, which is buying, builds and spending all this money, is going to continue to be high, then of course, Take-Two is like, well, we can continue to keep having those prices, right? We can continue to have the pay to win. This model is so much different than it is in CFB. Y'all know I play CFB a lot. The big difference between CFB and between 2K is that CFB has using virtual currency for offline, which is like ridiculous. Like, I'm like, that's insane. 2K doesn't even do offline. That was wild. So they know they messed up, so they changed that, right? They dropped it. The difference on this side is that, one, we are a huge community, okay? We are 10 times bigger than the CFB community, all right? And the second thing is that, of course, Take-Two is a massive conglomerate compared to EA, right? EA has Madden, but Take-Two has a crazy list of titles. And the biggest title of all games in the history of games, they have Grand Theft Auto. And that is about to be crazy, virtual currency in that, all right? So what I want to just stress one more again, okay, is that VC, it has gotten to the point to where I feel like somebody needs to step in. I don't feel like our community is able to do that. That's obvious. But I also feel that this is an issue across the board, and it has been dabbled with. I know certain type of countries have, literally banned, like Ultimate Teams. They have literally banned virtual currency. They have banned microtransactions, right? And y'all get the gist of things. It's going to take something from Congress to sit down, and they have done that. They've done that. It's been brought to the table. Sometimes it's just, how it is. Things move slow down a pipeline when it comes with politics. And, I don't really like bringing politics into to gaming, but that's really what it comes down to. Because my biggest issue that I've always had, and if you watch my videos, is how can a game be rated E for everyone? When a game is rated E for everyone, that means it's all ages. So how can a game be rated E for everyone, but they have some of the most craziest entry levels to be able to play. I don't know of any other game that has a higher entry fee to play. And when I say entry fee, meaning that you pay $100 to get the game, like the Legend Edition or whatever, and they give you some VC, and then you only make your player to an 85, right? So you only have an 85 overall player. And then to get from that 85 overall player, not only do you have to grind to get to 99, but then you still have to pay to get to each level. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, if you mess up your build, you're not even able to respec it. When you have a rated E for every one game, it should be understand that 7-8-year-olds are just not going to know how to make their build right the first time. You see what I'm saying? And even grown men and women aren't able to make their builds at the same time. So there should be some type of trade-off, in my opinion. That's what I've always preached. I'm like, listen, if you're going to have high virtual, if you're going to have high entry into the game, you should at least have flexibility to allow people to respect their builds, to be able to make the adjustments that are necessary. There's little things like the builder, how they do not allow you to see the cap breaker breakdown until you make the build. Understand this. How many kids do you think actually know about that or do that when they first make their build? How many grown-ups outside of creators, or how many people that don't watch YouTube? Understand this. 90% of the people that play 2K don't even watch YouTube. So they're making builds. They probably don't even understand that, yo, you can make your build, load up, and then look at the cap breaker breakdown and break it down. But yet, how many people actually take it that deep as a science to understand that, you know, like, hey, if I would have went from 77 to 78, I would have had a 93 driving dunk, right? So there's not a lot of knowledge also that's being given out, because if you are going to put that much value, or you're going to have to put that much equity into a game, then there should be as much knowledge as possible to educate you on that. Because if you're not educated and you're not knowledgeable, you're destined to mess up builds. And when you mess up builds by one attribute, and that one attribute doesn't allow you to be able to get, let's say, Zach LaVine dribble style, which is a really good dribble style, you only had a 74 speed with ball, you're out of luck of $100. You got to then go back and remake it. So my whole thing is, like I said, to sit here and think that we're going to just erase virtual currency, no. But what I've always been a proponent of is allowing us to respec our builds and give us enough educational information up front that we are able to make really solid educational guesses, I guess, because it's still like that, or hypotheses of what you want. Now, I've always brought up the whole thing about the builder and having template builds. And a lot of y'all were like, no, I want to, and again, I understand that. A lot of people want to be able to make their build any way they want to. But understand this, if you had template builds and builds did not have to be paid for, which I've done a video on that too. So again, I've done so many videos on this, man, but I'm just going to sit here and just entertain, the small percentage that don't understand that I literally talk about this all the time. I talked about having like builds that were just literally pre-made, 20 pre-made builds from each position, right? It's free to play. I've given the ideal of what you can do to have a free to play 2K game and still be able to monetize and make money off other things like Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty, now CFB. Like, there's a lot of games that are free to play that are online. So again, yes, our My Career mode is offline and you can play that. And there's no VC required in that. But our park and our ultimate team, or whatever, those two modes require a lot of money to pay up front. And if ultimate team, in my opinion, I feel like ultimate team should be ultimate team, and that should be the one that's all about the microtransaction and stuff. And then the park and the offline should be that should be offline. There shouldn't be virtual currency and anything like that involved in it. But until that is done politically, at least allow us to respec our builds when we mess up. Give us like 3 strikes and you're out per build. I said per build, right? You make it the first time, I'm off a couple out of my 3-point shot. Okay, I can change that. Boom, thank God. Whew. Oh snap, that's what it takes to get the drop. Okay, let me go ahead and change that. Like, what's the hurt in that? You see what I'm saying? I think that if you take baby steps and you gradually, work towards something, that will make a difference. Because let's not sit here and act like these publishing companies are losing money, not making money, right? They're making 300, 400, 500% of whatever, they're rolling in dough. These CEOs are rolling in dough. They're getting crazy bonuses, right? And we're not talking about the indie companies. We're talking about the major heavy hitters. You see what I'm saying? So that is my whole spiel. Hopefully I understand. No, I do not believe virtual currency should be in the game for Park and for offline my career. I believe Ultimate Team should be the only time you should have that. And I also believe Ultimate Team should be a rated T, right? For teenagers and up, people that actually, like to play in the money and gamble and stuff, because that is gambling, right? But that's my whole spiel. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do y'all think? Other than that, that's your favorite old head Uncle Jimmy. I'll be back really, really soon on the Banger Man. When I say back soon on the Banger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.